Our community needs to re-strategize, and one way for us to re-strategize is to individually, personally invest in ourselves.
On November the 11th of 2021, a young queer boy was abducted in Lagos, Nigeria, by a set of Kitoris who had hacked into his friend's Facebook account. After abusing, insulting, and degrading him, filming him naked, they placed a call to his parents demanding a ransom of 450,000 naira. This is the story of Joseph Narrate.
Community needs to re-strategize, and one way for us to re-strategize is to individually, personally invest in ourselves.
Welcome to Curio Talk and welcome to another one-on-one segment. And today we have Joseph with us. Welcome, Joseph.
Hello, everyone.
Joseph, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, I'm Joseph, 18, and I'm a programmer, a software developer actually. I'm actually a student too. So that's a little I can say about myself. And more like an activist, well, it's not an activist yet. So that's all I can say about myself.
Our community needs to re-strategize, and one way for us to re-strategize is to individually, personally invest in ourselves.
Tell us what happened to you on the set day and the incident. When did it happen and what happened on that day?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, the incident, how it went was I chatted with a friend of mine who goes by the name Musa Ahmed. So, and because he was, though we have not really met, we just met through a hookup kind of thing. And then...
Was it Grindr?
No, just on Facebook. On a group, actually. I think I saw Lagos something group on a group. So he posted some pictures like that. So I was like, let me, add him and stuff like that. So then we met in person. I think we went to, because the person we went to, another hookup house, let me see, like, let me call the person sugar daddy, because the person is older and has money. So that was where we met and we talked. And
our community needs to re-strategize, and one way for us to re-strategize is to individually, personally invest in ourselves.
After chatting it up, he was like, I was like, where have you been? I've not heard from him. He was like, he's at his uncle's place at Yanikbaja. Where in Yanikbaja? He didn't tell me. I was like, and after that, I now said, I'm in school. I think I went off right there. He now said, I'm in school. Then after that, I was like, okay, when I have time, I would come and see you, because it's been long I've seen you. Then I was like, okay, now, no problem. So after that, I think there was Tuesday that week, we NGO were doing something. So I think after they were just collecting surveys and normal surveys that NGO collects, like asking just questions on their services and all that. So after that, they gave us, I think, a composition of 1,000 or something like that. So with that, I was able to have money to go and see him, though there was another person that was calling me for help. So after I now decided to go and see him, when I got to set I prepared, and he called me. I told him I'm coming.
Sorry, do you mind just pausing those things that are making a little bit of a noise?
Okay,
like if you turn off the notifications, because we're hearing it in the video.
I have.
Okay, carry on.
Okay, sorry. I have. So then after that, I decided to go and see him. After I went, when I go to Yanikaja, I was like asking them where's piano school. I thought piano school was just around Yanikaja. And I had to then I think a lady that was with the boss with me, we followed to, a bus going to Koto, the Koto and Gondo side. That the bus I paid 300. So like it's a place where she said no. We kept on journeying till the road was distance.
Community needs to re-strategize, and one way for us to re-strategize is to individually, personally invest in ourselves.
I boarded to a bus going to school, and on getting there, I told him that I didn't also say I should enter a bike to a street. I can't remember the street. Then when I got there, I entered the bike said it was 150 and I had only 100 naira on me. So he said when I should come to a specific number of house. So I was going because the Okada man didn't know the house because there was no number on the street. So he now called me that I have passed the place. I should stop. I should stop. Okay, I stopped. Then I saw this someone who I didn't know approaching me. How I could describe him was he was tall and as if his left eye was punctured, like his left eye. So he was approaching me. I thought he was not coming to me. When he approached me, then he shook me. It was not like we're the one that is looking for us. I said yes. And I said, okay, I should follow him. As I was going, and another guy who was short there and has a dread or that I don't know dread also joined on the road. Then I don't know, that one was settling with this.
But
Since I was following them, I was like,
at this time, had the Okada man gone off? Has he ridden off, or was the Okada man still there?
yes, we have left the Okada man. We have left the Okada man. The other person was settling the Okada man while I was just going forward. That one was with the Okada man settling, so I didn't really know what he was still there. So I believe he should have gone. So as I was going forward, I didn't even follow them to the house. Just I think I started how I call it, see fighting with them and stuff like that. They were like, I think they were like, maybe Musa they chat with you, that interkitos, this and that, stuff and that. They were like, I think that one was holding me, so he came to see me. That one was, I think that one slapped my head. That was how I started the fight. Started fighting them. Then I created a scene, commotion. Then someone who was in his 40s or thereabout now came and was like, see, on this one you are doing that, you cannot beat all of them. Even if you want to fight, you can only beat these two. Pointed at it, I can't beat all of them. That's the highest can beat this two. This one, so you cannot beat it. That's you should not worry us. You should not begin to do. You are getting impact people. Just look for people to call. Don't you know to me? I was like, I said, I was
Weren't people around that area where you could shout for help?
yes, there were people. There were people, but what they did was actually they moved me to one side. They said I should not create a scene. That I should create a scene. I think he showed me one police number. He showed me one police number that's going to report the police. I should not let anybody to know what's happening. I think there was even one elderly man that came to know what's happening. They said nothing is happening. But if they should know, they will take care of you, this and that and that. So, no, a lot of things. Then I said I should call people. So I called office house. I called workers who are working in NGO. I called them because we're like, he's going to call Barisada. Robertson was like, I should share my location so they will know. I was like, I didn't carry an Android phone. I was only with a small phone and my tablet. And my tablet only uses internet, only uses Wi-Fi. Then after the day after that, they were just talking. That one wanted to slap me. I think that one should be the person who should be, I think should be their order or something. That came, that slapped him, that should not touch him, I should just leave him. They were not asking me questions, this and that. And asking me different type of questions. While I was waiting for those people I called to call me back.
And all these were happening on the street or
Yeah,
inside a building.
not a room inside, like on the street, like in a corner of the street, like the place the houses are the place is part of the rural area of Lagos. Like there are bushes and the house are just in, let's say, in someone's like there's no compound, no fence of compound, just beside someone's house. I think a chaos, beside chaos shop. That's so beside almost at the back of the house, but just beside the house, not on the road, because they didn't want to create an attention. So we took one corner of the road, stay at the corner of the road. So after that, Cross said they want to send 10,000 naira. So they started looking for when they started looking for POS. So then I started we started going, we left that place, we were going. Then rain started falling. We stopped under, so I was just following them. I think there were three. I was still with my bag then. So then they get down, they're like, 10,000 is so small. Who do I have to call? I said, you don't have anybody that they don't have money. Because I've never called my father. I said, what of my mom? I said, if you call my mom, they won't send anything. They don't have money, they won't do anything. That was how we kept on going. So kept on going, we kept on looking.
Our community needs to re-strategize, and one way for us to re-strategize is to individually, personally invest in ourselves.
So I called Mr. Uchi. I was like, Mr. Uchi, I've entered into. He was like, he was in office that I should. He'll call me back. So I was waiting for that one's call. He didn't call me back. So after that, because when I was going, I didn't really eat in the mouth. I was hoping that when I get to Musa's house, I'll probably cook and I would eat. So famished and I was tired and I was feeling weak. And I told them that I can't continue the journey because they were just trekking that I am tired. So the next said, okay, now let us look for where you will cook your Indomie and eat. Cook the Indomie that you hold your hand and eat. So after that, what I could remember was when I got under a tree. After that scene, when they wanted to cook Indomie, apart from that place, I couldn't remember anything again from there till when I woke up in bus. But when I got to my mom was like, they called her that on the phone. I was begging her, which I couldn't remember, that they sent her a video of me and they deleted it. Sent her a video of me, the war marks, that they told her that their son came to so, just telling her that bring, how much do they call it? They called 1 million or ransom, that they would kill me and sell my parts to all these people that used to black market or something like
Black
that.
market. Got you.
And my mom, my mom was not like shaking in her office. She was not like, said she was shaking, that she didn't know what to do. What she was just doing, she was just praying. That so she said that what she said was that if you kill him, his blood will be on your head. There's a way she said it and made them to cut the call. So they now called my dad. They now called my dad. They now told my dad. They were now like talking with my dad. My dad was like now negotiating with them because he's in his farm and there's no POS like inside bush. Like he's inside farm. Now after negotiating everything, they negotiated to 450K. I think. Then they sent in the money. They also said that they should send my transport for me to come home. So all I can remember was I woke up in the bus acting confused. Because I woke up, I was like, where is my bag? People were like, I now asked the conductor, how did I get inside the bus? He said, I entered the bus. I said, I'm going to Anapaji. He picked me up from Shasha. I was like, was anybody with me? He was like, no, that I was the one that came. I said, did anybody bring me to the bus stop? I was like, no, I was one that came to the bus stop. I couldn't remember that. How much did I pay? 300. The person beside me was like, I was with 850. I gave the driver 300. Couldn't remember all these things. So it was like, I should calm down. I said, what of my number? Have you called my phone? He was like, yes, I've given you my number before. I was like, me? He was like, yes, I've given you my number before that. He has called it several times. And I said, what I should do? I should give him my mom's number. So he called my mom, and my mom was like, they should bring me, I think they should bring me to the nearest bus stop. So now asked where I'm leaving. I said I'm leaving at um, Fagba. So he was going to Amadia. That's after Abulega. Then and also another person in the bus was going to Ukiaru. So both of them now decided to bring me home. So they were just holding me. I could not even remember anything. It was the next morning. I now was now calling people. I was now recalling, trying to remember what happened. They're telling me what I didn't even see. None of it. So I called, remember numbers I called, and they were telling me the things I said and the things I didn't even say. So that was how I was able to got them. That was how I was able to get my memory, the ones I could remember. The rest I didn't know how they tied me, how. So this was like I couldn't remember what happened. So that was how everything happened. And they took away everything on me at both everything I was wearing. If not that my slippers was bad, they would have taken that also. So they took everything on me, and apart from
And they
my
left you
slippers,
with just
which
a
one
boxers.
of my
They left you with just a boxers, or you were
no,
completely
they definitely my clothes. They took my chain, they took my
okay.
bag, they took my phones, and just they even wanted to take my, if not that my slippers was not good, it has already spoiled. And I'm really grateful that I didn't go with my laptop because I would like walk or say let me go with my tablet, let me walk with my tablet. But so they took everything from me. That was how, and they took my phone. They even collected my Facebook account. I think I remembered when I logged in, I saw a lot of accounts logged in on their phone, like there are more than 10 accounts logged in on their phone when I was logging. It's just recently I just recall that when I was logging in, I saw a list of accounts and they said a lot of things that in short expose all of them, but I'm trying to remember what are the things they said. They were just, I know as we were going, we were discussing, as they were discussing, they were exposing themselves, but and I can't really remember anything, only just a few things, and I'm trying to recall everything, but it's just coming blank. So when I went office, they were like, they drugged me and made me not to remember anything. So till now, NGO has not done anything. They said they're tracking their number, their account number they sent to my mom. So that is how
And
I am today.
and after the whole incident, did you go to the hospital for treatment or no?
Not really because I don't know. I don't think they really did anything so far because I am on prep. So far I didn't really feel anything, but I have not actually gone to the hospital yet for treatment because I've not been feeling sick lately. What I've just been going through is family problems and depression and all of that.
And how
So I
is your
didn't really have.
family? How is your family coping with the whole situation? How are they treating you? Has anything changed? Like their love, their attitude? Do they still let you go out? So what has really changed with your
No,
family?
no, actually, the thing is, at first, the issues was kind of cool. I thought they were like cool. Then later on, the thing began to change. That things began to change. When they come back, they'll be like, so fucking for money, this and that and that. Even when I try to explain to my mom, she's like, why can't you not change back? Before you know it, they jump into pushing marriage on me. They're like, we're going to marry this and you must marry before you leave Nigeria. this and that. Because we know if you leave Nigeria today, you're not coming back. So you must give us a child. Like recently of yesterday, when I wanted to go out to go to office, they were like, "We're not going anywhere. You want to go and be careful." And that they like was my dad was like, "Take close the door. It should be I've grown. You're not stronger than me. You're not going anywhere. You'll kill me today." So that you're not going to lock the door. They didn't let me to go out. I had to stay inside. They were sitting at the door till throughout the whole day. I didn't go out. Even today, they told the security at our estate that they should not let me also to go out. That they should not let me to go
You've
out.
literally become a
So I had
prisoner in
to,
your own house.
obviously. So that was I don't even know how. So that's how I'm just coping. That's just it.
This is
Having
indeed a
strong
very,
hand.
very sad situation. I know I hear this happening all the time, but one thing I need to commend you for your courage to come out to tell your story. We've been encouraging people to tell their story because it helps. Um,
Sometimes, keto is experienced. There's some people that they may get keto, they may not, I don't know, they may do anything to them and make them not to remember. So some people may just wake up and may not really remember what happened, may not really remember the incident. Why some? I don't know. So it's actually a very tragic
which is
experience.
true,
It
but
just,
after every trauma, like at first when trauma happens to us, right, it becomes like a
yeah,
shock in our system. We are trying to recover what has happened. Unless trauma has not happened to you, then you see people that come out, oh, they robbed me, da, 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 da. Those we are wired differently first and foremost, and some people may not have really experienced trauma or know how to handle it. So it differs for everybody. It takes everybody a different healing process. And we all understand this waiting time for everybody, to heal, to recover. My next question to you now is, how are you recovering? What is your strategy of, coming
well,
back to your normal self?
well, I don't know, because lately I've been depressed actually. Lately I've been trying not to be depressed. I'm trying to surround myself in just trying to make myself happy, trying to, but I just find myself getting depressed. Like throughout today, feeling
And
so
what
I was
what
just,
do you do about your depression?
I don't know, just sit
Are
down
you
and
talking
cry.
are you talking to
Huh?
anybody? Are you talking to anybody?
Mm,
Like, are you seeing a therapist or a counselor?
mm.
You know,
No, I'm
it
not talking to you.
it's really important to
Yeah,
have that conversation. Even as we are talking now, I know those traumas will be coming back, and but it's gonna help you to heal because you're talking about it, you're letting it, you're easing out that evil
yeah,
energy away from you. Talking about it is one way. For me, when trauma happens to me, I can remember in 2012 when I had my own keto case. I remember I cried. There was nobody literally to talk to when I was beaten, not just once, not just twice. But I decided to start writing. I felt like writing has always been my coping mechanism when things happen to me. And then I turn all my experiences into poetry. So anytime you see most of my poetry, it's actually half of what has happened to me. And that's the way I communicate. I feel everybody watching right now, if you have gone through something like this, if you're going through a hard, depressing time, you need to look for a coping mechanism of coming out from that situation. Because at the end of the whole day, it becomes a blue blown trauma and it affects you psychologically. And that's why you end up either in a psychiatric hospital or end up harming someone else because you've been harmed. So
exactly.
it's always important that we take the time to heal.